I never believe in ghosts. I never believe in ghost places, and I definitely never believed that a school building could be alive. But after what happened during the last week of my final year, I don't stay alone at night anymore. I don't answer unknown voices, and I have never gone back to my school. What I am about to tell you happened to me. And even today, I wish I had never opened that door. It was the final week before graduation. The school was almost empty. Most students had already finished their exams. That evening, I stayed late with my two closest friends. First one is Ryan and second one is Alex. We were helping decorate the main hall for graduation. By the time we finished, it was nearly 7 o'clock. Outside, the sky had turned dark gray. Inside, the school felt strangely quiet. Too quiet. No teacher, no student. Just the sound of buzzing fluorescent lights. And we packed over things. The old school intercom suddenly crackled. The loud noise made all three of us jump. Then a voice spoke, a low voice, a voice that sounded old, almost broken.
Student, please report to classroom 13.
The message repeated twice, then silence. Rayan laughed nervously. Classroom 13? We don't even have one. He was right. Our school had rooms 11, 12, and then directly 14. There was no classroom 13. At least, that's what everyone believed. We started walking together the exit, then Alex suddenly stopped. He was staring down a hallway we had never noticed before. At the far end was a door, a single rusty door. The hallway shouldn't have existed. I had studied there for 5 years and knew every corner of that building, yet somehow I had never seen it before. Above the door was an old metal sign. My stomach dropped. It read, Classroom 13. For a moment, nobody moved. Then curiosity got the better of us. Big mistake. The biggest mistake of us life. The door opened with a long creak sound. In sound was an old classroom. Dust covered everything, the desks, the walls, the blackboard. Everything except three chairs. Three perfectly clean chairs waiting in the front row. As if someone knew we were coming, I immediately felt sick. The air smelled out like wet paper and mold. Then I noticed something on the teacher desk, an attendance register. I pick it up and my hands start shaking because writing on the page were three names. My name, Rayan name, and Alex name. But the date at the top was impossible. 17 October 1989. More than 30 years before we were born. At the moment, the classroom door slammed shut. Boom. The room went dark. Something watching us. Every light died. Ryan started shouting. Alex ran to the door. It wouldn't open. Then we heard something, a scratching sound, coming from the blackboard. Slowly, Red chalk began moving by itself. No hand, no person, just chalk. Writing words, one letter at a time. Welcome back. My heart nearly stopped. Then another sentence appeared. You never left the photo. On the valley hung an old class photographs. I pointed my flashlight at it, and what I saw still haunts me. Standing in the front row were three students. The photo looked decades old, black and white and faded. Yet those students had our faces. My face is Ryan's face and Alex's face exactly. Not similar, not close. Exactly. As if someone had taken a picture of us and placed it in the past. Suddenly we heard footsteps, heavy footsteps walking around the classroom, but nobody was there. Steps coming closer. Then all the desks began moving by themselves, turning toward us one after another, every desk in the room facing us, watching us. Then the light come back on. For 1 second, just one. And in that second, Alex disappeared. Gone. Completely gone. No scream, no sound, no tracing marks. Only his phone lying on the floor. Ryan and I started running. We finally forced the door open. The hallway outside looked different. Longer, darker, endless. Then the intercom turned on again.
Attendance incomplete. One student missing.
Then we heard running, nothing, walking, running behind us. I looked back, and I wish I hadn't. I, a tall figure wearing an old graduation gown was sprinting toward us. Its face was completely black, no eyes, no mouth, just darkness. Ryan screamed. We ran faster than we ever had before. The figure kept getting closer, more closer. We burst through the main entrance. The moment we stepped outside, everything stopped. The footsteps, the voices, the intercom. Gone. Police searched the school that night. They found no classroom 13, no hidden hallway, nothing. And Alex was never found, not that night. Not ever. A few months later, I returned secretly to the school archives. I wanted answer. I found an old newspaper article. Three students had vanished from that same school decades ago. The night before graduation, the names were different, but the photographs weren't because the faces in those photographs were ours. Even now, years later, I still wake up at exactly 6:47 a.m. Every morning and every time I do, I hear the same whisper right beside my ear.
Attendance incomplete. One student still missing.
And sometimes when I look in the mirror, I see Alex standing behind me with a smiling face.